Everybody, this is Strategic Operative. I'm actually heading to Waterford Lakes for Cool Stuff Games, Return of the 5th Star Wars Armada tournament, which I'm really excited about. Haven't played in a few weeks at a tournament, so I'm definitely excited. The fleet that I'm running today is actually my Raiders, once again, from my last few videos on Raider fleets. It's the exact same one, except I'm flipping out Flechette Torps, probably for ACMs, giving me, instead of a 382 advantage, to like a 387, something around there. And I usually don't fly list more than once, but I was really thinking the last week, as I was trying to prepare for this event, what I was going to build for a fleet. And I love the Raiders. I'm sure by now, if you've seen some of my videos, you know that I love the Raiders. They are absolutely horrific towards squadrons, and in fact the list that I ran, if you watched my battle report last time, I completely obliterated squadron balls. I have no problem doing that, but as you saw in the second video, unfortunately my phone kicked off before I was able to record it, but I got my butt kicked against an ISD. I got tabled. It was just, I was shocked. However, since then I've been thinking, can Raiders actually be competitive against an ISD build? And you look at, and if you're looking, you know, statistically, yes. If everything goes right, if you have all these perfect scenarios line up, triggering ACMs, your black dice, your rerolls, you're running Screed, and just 6 Raiders overall, if you're going to issue 2 to 3 of them per ISD, if there's 2, you can do some damage. What it's going to take, though, is ultimately, you're going to have to get those rerolls, which I do incorporate into all of my Raiders. You're going to have Screed, and you're also going to have to outmaneuver SSDs. SSDs are going to be, they're a little bit hard to do that because you have to stay out of the front arc. If you are in the front arc at any time, you might as well pick that Raider up off the board because it's gone. But the negate at long range for the defense token is actually going to come in handy here when I'm going up against Simoons, because I'm going to try to fly around the edges of the board to get either to the side or behind the ISD. I also have to be first player for this to work, because if I'm right behind the ISD, I have to be within black range to trigger the ACMs. And if they're first player, they're just going to move right out of black die range, and that's going to suck. So I have to get the initiative here. So right now I'm still debating if I just take out Flechette Torps and just go with 379, or if I add ACMs or possibly another black crit effect to just dump it around 385. So I'm not quite sure when I'm doing that. I'm still thinking that all over as I'm driving over. I brought all the cards just in case. But I'm really looking forward to playing against an ISD. Watch my luck, though, not run against an ISD. But typically the meld around here is if you're Imperial, and if you're not flying something crazy like 6 Raiders or 4 or 5 Architans or just something totally outrageous because it's so fun to do so, you're going to run at least against one ISD. A lot of people run dual ISDs, an ISD and a victory, ISD, and almost anything you can think of. So I'll shoot some videos during the battle reports, and hopefully we'll see if I can actually navigate my way through ISDs, if I can avoid the front arc, and if I can actually pull off some shots. I'm trying to. You know, I like to think and consider myself skilled flying Raiders, but still, this is going to be a challenge for me. So I really need to sort of find out where the opponent's going, where his front arc is going to be issued, and if I can, from the beginning of the game, during setup, set up my Raiders in such a way where nobody knows where they're going. Sometimes I don't even know. What I love about Raiders, though, is if you keep them at a speed 3, they can drop down to speed 2 or go up to speed 4, and with that extra click, they can almost do a 180, which is really good. So worst case, if you have most of my guys facing in the opposite direction, so I want them to throw their ISD somewhere, they'll do that, and I'll just throw my guys in to go 180. Ooh, sorry about that. My stand-in like that. But they can turn 180, which I'm really looking forward to. I'm trying to pull off some more of that stuff in the beginning of the game versus later in the game to try to get ahead. Also, with Raiders, they're so cheap. I think my most expensive Raider with Screed on it's going to be 72 points, meaning that most of my Raiders are running about 55 points. With that in mind, some ISDs are up, like if I run an ISD, I'm running it to 190, 200 points. And there are people who do that, so I can afford to lose 2, 3, maybe if they have their commander, maybe even 4 raiders take out an ISD and still point-wise win. Now, granted, I don't want to lose that much because it's going to be a 5-6 win. But if I lose 2 raiders to take out an ISD, or even 3, that's still a success. I mean, that's not a table, but it's definitely worth starting there. So let's see how that goes.
Alright, so I'm running my Raider build here that we discussed earlier. And I'm running up against a Radis build with Profundity title. They're off to the side of the board. Right now he just has his 2 CR90s and his flotilla with 4 squadrons. And we're just about to start round 1, so we'll see how that goes. Alright, it's the end of round 1 here. Pretty much there's just a wall of raiders approaching. He still hasn't unleashed his Helta yet. Pretty much no shots have been fired. Actually, there's no long-range dice in this game thus far, and most of our defense tokens are evades. So that is an interesting observation there. Alright, this is the beginning of round 3. I forgot to mention we're using firing lanes. They're pretty much shoved underneath a lot of my raiders. He just dropped in his ship, and he did the dropped in a CR90 to the left of his MC75. Right now, no shots have been fired thus far on ships. And instead of attacking with the squadrons, he decided to move behind and fall back. So this round we should see a lot of shooting and possible ship deaths. Alright, so we're at the end of round 4 here. I've lost 1 raider on the field. I took out 2 CR90 corvettes and the in 1 squadron. Right now, nobody on... There's going to be a lot of tight maneuvers. My raiders have almost rammed multiple times and flown off the board, which they've gotten lucky they haven't. This round is probably going to be the determining round of who's going to win this conflict here. One of my raiders has the Pelta double arced, but the Pelta has only taken 3 shield damage thus far. And going into... 5 damage. MC75. Sorry, MC75, that's what it is. Yeah, something like that. Okay, MC75 has taken 3 damage so far. So during this round, we should either see it cripple down or take down the raiders. We'll find out. Alright, end of round 4. I think another CR90 was taken out. I have damage on another one of my regular raiders, the Impetuous title, which is the one that's closest to the Pelta. It has 1 life left. Everybody else is sort of just off on their own. The Pelta's holding strong. It only has 1 damage card, and we're coming into turn 5. And he has his flotilla just running away from the fight, just trying not to rack up points, and his A-wing is just in the corner, just sitting here, having a blast. So let's see what round 5 gives us. Alright, so we just ended. I was able to take out the Pelta, barely though. Screed was able to come in, and I was able to use his activation, or his ability, to flip my dice, and that was the game-changing factor here. I finally was able to get 1 point out of the firing lanes, because he kept on throwing the stinking little dials underneath my ships, and when they're underneath my ships, I can't claim them. So he has been claiming dials like crazy. He probably has at least, what? How many dials do you think you have?
13 of them.
Oh my goodness, yeah. So he's got at least, 150. But I was able to table him. So I get 415 minus his 150 or so. It's probably going to be a closer game, more of a 7-4, possibly in that ballpark. We'll see on the tally how the other team does, and we'll go from there. Alright, so we're just about to start the first round of the second pairing. I am going up against an Adonalist, correct?
Yep.
Okay, Adonalist, he's got some pretty heavy ships going on. He's got the Pelta, he's got a GR75, and he's got the MC80. Yeah, no problem. He's got a whole bunch of bombers, a whole bunch of B-Wings. I think you have 5 B-Wings?
Oh, 4 B-Wings.
Okay, 4 B-Wings.
I can't fight 3 packs.
Oh, that's right. Okay, so he's got 4 B-Wings, he's got, what else? A Y-Wing, an X-Wing, he's just got a little bit of everything here. So squadron-wise, with all my counters, I might be okay. But if I get swarmed, if one single raider gets swarmed, it's gonna be a mess for me. We picked superior positions. I had to deploy all my fleets first. As you see, I set him up in a pincer. However, he's going to try to counter that with an Akbar slash without Akbar, of course. It's going to be a really interesting game because it's a trap. Yeah, we're only going to be using half the board, so it's really going to be a really close quarter combat game. I'm really interested to see, especially starting off everything at speed 3 and 4. For him, I think it's going to be like 1, 2, 3, something like that. It's going to be a real quick game. Honestly, I expect this game to probably be done by the 4th round. It's going to be quick. It's going to be quick. I think my butt's going to get kicked real quick, or his is. But at least it's going to be quick. So let's get ready to enjoy it. All right. So we just ended our first round. No shots have been fired. Right now he's having his very thematic formation. And right now I'm trying to complete my pincer and try to stop him in his tracks. I have enough ships, hopefully, to keep him busy. But we're really going to find out in the next few rounds if that was worth it or not. Right now we're just waiting for the other one to screw up and make a mistake. We're each reacting to each other, and we're just waiting for that gap, and we're going to take advantage of it. So let's see in the following round what's going to happen. Yeah, going to be a party. So we are starting the we're starting the 3rd round. He did take out one of my just original raiders that just has the ACMs, quad laser turrets, and ordnance experts. I decided to ram his MC-80 twice with my raiders. Pretty much I'm using them as just suicide ships. And everything else right now, I'm trying not to be eaten by his squadron storm because he'll just run up against one raider and eat it entirely. So I need to take out the MC-80 very quickly for me to have a shot at this game. Also, I'm starting to hover around to harass his Pelta. I'll start that in the next few rounds. So let's see how this goes. This is starting of round. We actually just ended round 3. It has been pretty quick. I'm down to 2 raiders, so it's not looking well here. I did some damage on the MC-80. Pretty much just the squadrons and then the 2 side arcs of the MC-80. All the triggered effects of the squads with the Pelta really nailed through, which is good for a nimble fleet. Like I said, raiders aren't the best in all scenarios, but it's interesting to see how we'll play out depending on what the margin of loss will be. All right, it's the beginning of round 5. I am down to 1 raider, which has Screed on it. My commander's still living, but barely. I was able to take out the Pelta and 1 B-Wing. I know. With Odana. He took out, so far he's taken out 5 of my raiders. Pretty much base without any upgrades. All my raiders come to like 160, 180 points. I mean, the upgrades are going to hurt. Right now, I don't want him to table me because I only came out to 384. So he would get an extra 16 points on top of whatever we're doing. So right now, I'm just going to, maybe I'll try taking out a squadron or 2 along the way, but I'm just going to try surviving the next 2 rounds. So it should go really quick. Let's see how that goes. Oh, no, that's okay. All right, so just ended round 5. We're not going to go into round 6. He was able to take out Screed. I flew him in too close to the squadrons. I was trying to get lucky with the squads, hoping he was going to roll poorly so I could just flak him out. It didn't work. So he was able to table me at 400. I believe I only took out almost, I think, including Luke Skywalker, I was able to take out this round. It ends up being like 100 and maybe 20, maybe...
Probably about 135 with token.
Yeah, with the token as well. So it's probably going to be a 7-4, maybe an 8-3 win. We'll have to count it up right now. But it was definitely a fun one. It was definitely fun. The Raiders weren't that successful. Like today, I was hoping to go against ISDs. That was the whole theme of this build. That didn't happen, but it still worked overall well. I mean, there's things I could have done to improve, but at the same time, sometimes your build just doesn't compete well with some others.